All right, so you have a cautionary tale. You have a warning regarding an Uber situation, and this happened to your roommate. Is that correct?
Yes, so not my actual roommate. I'm living in a 4-person suite, so there's 2 rooms, and so I live with someone in my room, and then there's another room.
Oh, man, this phone is, it's just not good.
Man?
Yeah, it's
Does
just
she have a
not,
landline?
Okay, hold on.
Yeah.
Call me right back.
Well, now
I'll
I can
tell
hear
you
you.
about my-
Yeah, it just
it
doesn't
sounds like
it
Duke.
just doesn't sound good.
It does sound like Duke.
Chloe, can you walk outside?
Is it any better right now?
Yeah, I think it's a little
Yeah.
better. All right, so this happened to a suite mate. Chloe's doing summer school, a summer course up at NYU. So she's in a dorm. She's in like a quad, and this happened to one of the girls in your quad, right?
Yes.
All right, tell the story of what happened. This is an Uber warning.
Okay, so the other night I went out with my friends, and we ended up on the Upper West Side, and so basically my friend wanted to go home. So I set her up, I help her order an Uber, and the Uber pulls up, and she gets in the Uber. I make sure it's the car's license plate, everything, correct car, everything. So
All right, so you ordered her the Uber, and you made sure that the Uber license plate did match up to what was on your app?
Absolutely, I always do with myself, so I did it for her.
Okay, very good. That's essentially, you got to do that. Go ahead.
Yeah. So, anyway, so about 20 minutes after, I go to check on her location to make sure she's home, which is around Union Square, so like 14th Street area. However, her location showed a little south of Washington Square Park, which is around like Houston Street.
Yep.
And so I see her icon continuing on our like Find My Friends app. I see her continuing downtown. So like literally the exact.
Oh, she's going the wrong direction. She's going exactly opposite where she should be going.
Exactly, yeah. And so I called her immediately and I asked her like where she was going and if the driver knew where she was supposed to go. So she told the driver. I heard her over the phone say like, "Excuse me, like I'm going to 14th Street." And I don't know what he responded because I couldn't really hear. But then I was just like, you know what? Ask the driver if he's an Uber employee. And I heard her ask, and he goes, "No, I'm not."
Whoa. Yeah, that's why I have Chloe on.
Whoa.
So the friend asks the driver, "Are you an Uber employee?" And he says, "No."
Oh my God, it's like a horror film.
What? Wait. How? Okay.
So I know what Roxanne's going to ask. How did the license plate for that
Yes.
vehicle end up on your app, or did you somehow misread it?
No, listen. So he goes, "No, I'm not." He goes, "I saw you on the side of the road, and you looked like you needed help." So I go, "Get out of the car. Get out of the car. Get out of the car. Get out of the car." Over the phone, I was on speaker, and she goes, "You're on speaker." And I said, "Get out of the car." And I hear the driver go, "No, don't. It's okay. It's okay." And I said, "Just get out of the car." I just kept saying, "Get out of the car. Get out of the car. Get out of the car."
All right, Chloe, stop for 1 second. Hold on. How the hell did this car? So it doesn't make sense. How did
I'm
this?
getting there. Dad, I'm getting there.
All right.
God, let her tell her story.
All right. I'm sorry. All right. Go ahead.
So I heard her get out of the car, and she said that like after she gets out of the car, she goes,
All right. So the guy did stop the car.
"I don't know entirely. I hope so."
I mean, she didn't get out rolling on the street, right?
Did a little tuck and roll.
There's only
think so.
2 ways
I
out of a
don't think
car.
All right.
Yeah,
All right. Go ahead.
got out of the car. Then she goes, "He's following me." So I said,
Hold on. He starts. So she's out of the car now, and keeps following her.
Yes. So I said, "Walk in the opposite direction, hide, try to lose him." And
What time of day was this, Chloe?
like 4 a.m.
Oh my
my
God! Well, what
gosh.
the hell are you doing out at 4 o'clock in the morning? Nothing good happens after like 2 a.m.
Okay.
Some will revise that to nothing good happens after midnight.
Yeah, Mom says that.
Yeah, vampires, werewolves.
It's
Mom
10
is
p.m. in my house.
Mom is right. What time is it?
10 p.m. Nothing
All
good.
right, so Chloe, so what's the story here?
So let me continue.
Go ahead.
So then I told her to stay right where she was because I could see exactly where she was on Find My Friend on the iPhone. And so I ordered her an Uber back to our place. So finally she gets home. The next morning, we talk about it, and I'm like, what the heck happened last night? And so this is what happened. She remembered that she asked the initial Uber driver, the one I verified was, correct. She asked him if he could pull over for a second so that she could get out and throw up. And so he did, but then ended up driving away.
Oh, my God. Oh, so she was, oh, my
How
God.
drunk do you guys get?
Holy crap. So she was originally in the right Uber?
Yes.
Oh, my. And the Uber abandoned her?
So then my friend ended up getting in the next car that was not, going.
Just some guy driving at 4 o'clock in the morning in Manhattan?
The guy pulled over, and I kind of assumed that, maybe she thought because we had been drinking, so I think maybe she thought she ordered another car or that it was the original car that had waited for her.
No.
Holy crap. No, that was a rando that saw this attractive girl. I've never seen her. Is she attractive?
Yeah, she's so pretty.
All right. And it's 4 o'clock in the morning, and she gets out of the Uber to vomit. Then the Uber driver that you ordered takes off. Because, the last thing that Uber drivers and taxi drivers, they don't want a vomit person in the back. That's the worst thing.
That's what the Uber driver's thinking.
But still, to just drop someone off at 4 o'clock in the morning, that's awful. That could have been a serious... Hey, Chloe, she might have been murdered and hacked up on, like, Staten Island or something.
I know. I woke up the next morning and my heart kind of just like sank. Even when I found her, saw her location that night, I was like, oh my, I was freaking.
So how did she find? So you ordered her another Uber?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm paying for all this crap?
Dad, I'm happy I paid for it. Would you rather?
All right, well, hold on. Let me ask you what. Did you contact Uber to have a credit issued for the ride where she got dumped off?
She paid for that one.
What?
She paid for that one. I helped her order it on her app.
So how did she pay? She ordered it on her app?
The first car, the Uber that was supposed
The one that dumped her off and just abandoned her, she paid for that one.
She paid for that one, but the one that I actually got her home in, I paid for.
All right, now listen, folks. Ultimately, the safety of my daughter and her friend, that's paramount. The only reason why I'm asking about payment is because if the Uber dumped you out, then you need to contact Uber, make a complaint, and get credit for that ride.
Well,
That's why I'm asking about the money, because when it comes to the safety of my daughter and her friend, money is no object.
Well, I'll take it a step further.
But you shouldn't have to pay for Uber that dumps you off. You got to go get credit and make a complaint on that driver because that's unacceptable.
Well, two things there. Number one, God forbid something had happened to her. Would Uber then be responsible for dumping her in the middle of the street? But number two, I think that is like a preservation of your vehicle. I'm not excusing it. I wouldn't do that if I was an Uber driver. Definitely leave a poor girl there. But I think probably the Uber driver would come back at you and say she was throwing up in my car and I had to leave.
She asked to stop the car and to get out.
Right. I think she did the responsible thing.
She may not have even said, hold on or I'll be right back. I mean, think about it. Hey, can you pull the car over? I need to get out. He pulls the car over. You get out. He thinks the ride's over. And not trying to leave her or abandon her. He thinks it's over. The customer has to get out. She gets out, loses her lunch, and then comes back and doesn't see him or sees the next car.
Do you remember, and this was since we've been back, do you remember that I was in a New York City cab on a weekend, like maybe 2 years ago, and I was having a conversation with the driver, and he was like, oh, yeah, I don't want any Generation Z or millennials in my car on like Friday, Saturday nights after like 10 p.m., because they vomit in your taxi. Remember I played the audio?
Yeah.
I did an interview with the guy in the back of the cab, and he's telling me the story. I played that audio on the air, and, Uber drivers, taxi drivers, there's a certain clientele on certain nights that they're almost guaranteed to puke in your car.
And
But
this
still-
girl checks off all the boxes for the
still,
clientele.
but you don't dump off a girl at 4 o'clock in the morning and then drive off.
What if
I mean,
what if he thought she wanted to end the ride? Stop the car. I need to get out.
She said she had to please stop the car.
She doesn't remember. She's drunk out of her mind, MJ. She's hurling.
All right, Chloe, the responsible thing, and I'm gonna be dad over here right now, and I'm not thrilled. You should have escorted your roommate home. Why did you not go home with her? Were you inebriated as well, or were you buzzed and just slightly better? What was your condition? Because at 4 o'clock in the morning, why didn't you just? First of all, why are you out at 4 o'clock in the morning? But you should have gone home with her.
I know I should have. In hindsight, I wish I would have. But I went to go get food. I was hungry.
Well, she has a good excuse.
Jeez. Well, that's unacceptable, and I don't like that answer.
Well, listen, the best laid plans are all good until somebody gets butchered up.
Yeah, and you think, you kind of think to yourself, that is kind of something you say, well, I put her in an Uber, she's safe there. She goes, and good for Chloe for keeping an eye on the app.
I mean, she could have ended up like the sequel to the Gilgo Beach dude
For
out
real.
there.
Stop.
You
That's
look
really,
like you're sick.
That's all I was thinking about because he was.
Could you help me put this sofa into the back of the van? Do you need a
Dad.
bucket?
Is your friend a big girl, like a size 16?
You need me to hold your hair back there? Are you a size 16? Was she a great big fat girl?
Why don't you
Oh,
play,
wait, was
play
she some-
dancing horses and I'll tuck my ween?
Roxanne, do you want to get in on the James Gunn impression?
Oh, wait, was she some great big fat woman?
I just said that one.
That was good.
I know, but it was my
It was
interpretation.
Roxanne's version of it.
All right, Chloe, that is a scary as hell story.
I know.
And she has no idea. So she got out of the car. Did she jump out of the car while it was moving?
I really don't know.
Is she abrased?
No.
You guys
No.
need to maintain your drinking a little bit.
Yeah, how about that? Yeah, thank you, Froggy. That's the most important thing here.
Yeah.
And they were. Where were you leaving from?
The Upper West Side, but like a little south, like 50th and around the river.
Okay.
Which river, the East or the Hudson?
The Hudson, if I'm on the west side.
Upper West. All right, thought you did say that. All right, Chloe, I got to run. But
You
man,
mean the Sully?
that's a hell of a story. Well, hey, that's not far from where Sully put down.
Should be called the
Yeah.
Sully.
And
It's a
she
hero.
saved your friend's life potentially. Who knows where that guy was
Oh,
going to take
sure
her?
he's
So
hero,
good for her
Chloe.
watching.
All right, Chloe, I'll talk to you later. Please, can you get just a little more responsible?
I am very responsible. Okay, 1 second. Did you see that I went to omakase last night and then my waiter knew you?
What?
What?
You went to Japanese last? Who's paying for all this stuff?
Me.
All right, so you went.
With your card.
All right, so you went to Japanese food last night, and the waiter knew me.
So basically, I was sitting down and I recognized it was a new waiter, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, hi!" And she's like, "Hey, I'm new here," and I said, "Oh, where are you coming from?" And she said, "Orlando." And then I said, "Oh, that's very nice." And then I asked her how old she was because I had a suspicion maybe she knew if she was like a little like my age or older than me. And so she goes 24, and then I'm like, "Oh my gosh, have you ever heard of the MJ Morning Show?" And she was like, "Yes." And I go, "That's my dad," and she was freaking out.
But we weren't on in Orlando.
We got all the way over to Orlando. You can listen to us in the parking lot of Disney.
Yeah, that's true. All right.
So she knew, yeah.
Oh, so she knew us?
Yeah.
Oh, well, that's great. Well, thank you. Tell her to listen to the podcast.
Okay, and then
All right, I got to run.
All right, Chloe.
Chloe, if you have if you have another story, save it. All right.
Good job looking out for your friend.
All right, I got to run.
all right, bye.
All right, bye.
Jeez.
Holy crap!
What a babbler.
Is that Uber story crazy?
It really is, and actually, it's like kind of triggering all my memories of being blackout drunk when I was in my early 20s, and I'm lucky to be alive.
Yeah, I mean, just
Hold on, you were
No.
blackout drunk in your
That's
20s?
what people do when they're in their early 20s.
Did you say
right?
you're lucky to be
I
alive?
mean, you put yourself. It just is like triggering a haze of bad decisions and blurry nights out in Ybor, and I'm thinking, gosh, I did a lot of stupid things when I was in my 20s too.